This video is about Athena solves puzzle but trap activates. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. Athena solves the puzzle but trap activates Part 1, The Whisper of Destiny In the age when gods walked among mortals, the realm of Etheria shimmered beneath the watchful gaze of Olympus. A land steeped in beauty, it was also a battleground, fraught with ambition, divine whims, and the echoes of ancient prophecies. Here, the mighty Athena, daughter of Zeus and goddess of wisdom and war, stood resolute against a tide of chaos that threatened to engulf the world. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows upon the temple of Themis, where Athena had come seeking solace from her thoughts. Within its hallowed halls lay secrets veiled in riddled secrets that could alter the fate of gods and men alike. Wisdom is the bridge between chaos and order, Athena murmured, fingers tracing the engravings upon a stone tablet. Each symbol pulsed with a life of its own, whispering tales of glory, betrayal, and the weight of destiny. As she delved deeper into the mystery, her heart raced with both hope and trepidation. Suddenly, a tremor shook the ground, and a figure cloaked in shadows emerged from the dark recesses of the temple, a spectre of a long-forgotten war. It was Phalaris, the cursed soul of a fallen hero who roamed the realm seeking redemption. Athena, he rasped, voice deep in anguish. Hero wisdom is needed. The puzzle within this temple is not merely a test, it is a key to the old war ascent, but beware, for traps lie beneath the surface, deceit woven into its very fabric. The old war? Athena echoed, her eyes narrowing. You speak of the war of the Titans. I thought those days were long buried beneath the weight of time. Phalaris nodded, his gaze darkening. A remnant of the age awakens, the Titan, Kronos, stirs within the shadows, plotting his return. This puzzle is his divine safeguard, a safeguard meant to keep the unwary at bay. Solve it, and you might just prevent a cataclysm. Athena's heart quickened. The Titan's return would mean devastation, not only for Etheria but for Olympus itself. What do I need to do? She asked, determination hardening her resolve. Listen to the whispers of the ancients, Phalaris replied, stepping back into the shadows. The answer lies within the riddle. Unravel it, and you will see the path, but tread lightly, for the trap is woven into your triumph. With a deep breath, Athena approached the tablet, a mind sharp as a blade. The symbols flickered to life, forming a riddle that echoed through the ages. In the depths of night where shadows dwell. Seek the light that breaks the spell. 3 keys protect secrets untold. Only the wise shall grasp the gold. As the words settled in her mind, Athena felt a surge of energy course through her. She focused her thoughts, envisioning the keys hidden within the riddle. 3 keys, each one representing a virtue, wisdom, courage, and honor. Only by embodying these qualities could she unseal the way forward. The light that breaks the spell, she mused aloud, recalling the tales of the moon goddess Selene, whose silver light illuminated even the darkest corners. The key must be a reflection of the truth she embodies. With newfound clarity, she turned and made her way to the temple's sanctum, where an altar stood adorned with artifacts of ages past. The air was thick with anticipation, each heartbeat echoing her resolve. As she approached the altar, shadows danced along the walls, twisting and turning as if alive. A cold chill swept through the chamber, and a deafening silence enveloped her. Come forth, spirit of the light, Athena called, her voice unwavering. In response, a shimmering beam of moonlight broke through the temple's roof, illuminating her path. She grasped a silver chalice, its surface shimmering like starlight. This is my first key. But as she lifted the chalice, the ground beneath her trembled violently, and a rumble erupted from deep within the temple. The walls began to close in, and Athena's heart raced. Phalaris, she shouted. The trap. In an instant, the room transformed. Walls of stone shifted, and the very fabric of reality seemed to bend. From the fissures, dark tendrils of shadow emerged, wrapping around her limbs, pulling her into the depths of despair. Think, Athena, she urged herself, summoning the courage that had always defined her. She focused on the chalice, amplifying its light with her will. The shadows recoiled, screeching like banshees, desperate to retreat from the brilliance of her resolve. Light and darkness cannot coexist without conflict, she declared, channeling her divine essence into the chalice. Let the shadows consume themselves. With a blinding flash, the chalice erupted in radiant light, illuminating every corner of the temple. The tendrils shrieked, unraveling as they were consumed by the brilliance. In the wake of her triumph, the shadows dissipated, but the temple remained perilously unstable. The 2 keys remain, Athena whispered to herself, her mind racing as adrenaline surged through her veins. I must find the key of courage next. She pressed deeper into the temple's heart, navigating the shifting labyrinth, her mind a flurry of thoughts. The ground quaked, and she could feel the ancient magic wrapping around her, testing her resolve. Steeling herself, she called upon her memories of battles fought and victories won. The spectre of Valaris had spoken of redemption of a hero who had fallen but sought to rise again. She would not be his final testament, she would embody his courage instead. At last, she found herself in a chamber adorned with ancient murals depicting grand battles of yore. The air crackled with energy as she spotted a relic, a withered sword, its blade glinting under the flickering torches. This was the sword of Ares, a weapon forged in the fires of war, a symbol of unmatched courage. Ares, grant me your strength, she prayed, grasping the hilt. As she lifted the sword, a surge of warmth enveloped her, igniting a fire within her spirit. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the will to face it, she reminded herself, feeling the pulse of the sword resonate with her heartbeat. I shall wield this courage against the darkness. Just as she turned to leave, the temple trembled once more, sending dust and debris cascading from the ceiling. Shadows clawed at her, but this time she stood firm, radiating the essence of courage. Face me if you dare, she roared, channeling her divine energy. The shadows recoiled, their cries growing distant as she pressed on, the sword illuminating her path. With 2 keys in her possession, she raced toward the final challenge, the key of honor. Would it be enough to thwart the impending doom? The weight of destiny bore heavily upon her shoulders, but Athena would not falter. Honor is the foundation upon which legends are built, she whispered, breathing in the air of determination. I will reclaim it. As she reached the final chamber, she found herself before a colossal statue of Themis, goddess of justice. A grand pedestal held a luminous insignia, the emblem of honor, radiating an ethereal light. But standing guard was a monster sentinel, formed from shadows and despair, its eyes burning with a fierce hunger. Athena, daughter of Zeus, what brings you to my domain? The sentinel growled, its voice a symphony of malice. I seek the key of honor, Athena replied, her voice steady, though her heart raced. Step aside, for I shall prove my worth. The sentinel lunged forward, its form shifting like liquid darkness. Athena drew the sword of Ares, its blade singing with valor as she prepared for battle. You wish to challenge me, then let our fates intertwine. With a cry that resonated through the temple, the 2 clash, light against shadow, honor against despair. Athena danced around the sentinel, each movement infused with divine grace, her strikes precise, her resolve unyielding. But the shadows wrapped around her with a fierce intensity, their whispers clawing at her mind, the doubts, fears, tribulations. You cannot win, Athena, you are but a goddess among mortals. No, she roared, channeling the power of her keys. I am wisdom, courage, and honor. I will not be swayed by despair. With one swift motion, she plunged the sword into the heart of the beast, unleashing a blinding light that shattered the darkness. The sentinel howled, its form disintegrating into wisps of shadows that evaporated into the ether. In the silence that followed, she approached the pedestal, her heart pounding with anticipation. With reverence, she grasped the insignia of honor, feeling its warmth seep into her soul. 3 keys now in my possession, she whispered, a sense of triumph washing over her. But as the last echoes of battle faded, the temple quaked ominously. The very walls began to collapse, and Athena's heart sank as realization dawned upon her. The trap has been activated. As the temple trembled, Athena felt the weight of prophecy pressing upon her. The walls, once a sanctuary of wisdom, now closed and like the jaws of a ravenous beast. Shadows flickered at the edges of her vision, whispering tales of despair. She clutched the insignia of honor tightly, feeling its warmth pulse against her palm. There must be a way out, she gasped, glancing around the chamber as dust rained from the ceiling. In the center of the chaos, the pedestal that had held the insignia began to crack, fissures snaking across its surface. This temple is a living thing, a guardian of secrets, Athena realized. It reacts to my triumph and the activation of the trap. She sprinted towards the entrance, the ancient stones groaning in protest. With each step, the air thickened, and a deep rumble echoed from the depths. Valaris, she called out, hoping for the spectre's guidance. What must I do? But only silence answered her, a haunting reminder of the hero's absence. Just then, a blinding flash illuminated the chamber as a portal of swelling energy tore open before her. It beckoned like a beacon of hope, yet Athena hesitated. If I step through, will I return to Etheria, or will I be lost in time? Anxiety clawed at her heart, but she knew she had no choice. Wisdom guides the brave, she shouted to the void, taking a step into the luminescent whirlpool. A rush of air engulfed her, and she was whisked away, a temple dissolving into a kaleidoscope of light and shadow. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The world around her stabilized, and she found herself standing in a vast expanse that shimmered like a tapestry of stars. Celestial beings flickered in and out of view, their voices a chorus of divine echoes. Athena felt the presence of the Fates, those weavers of destiny, their eyes piercing through the fabric of her soul. Daughter of Zeus, they intone in unison, their voices a harmonious blend of authority and curiosity. You have sought the keys of wisdom, courage, and honor, yet every choice you make fits the tapestry of fate. You have activated the trap, but do you understand its cost? Athena stood tall, defiance burning in her chest. I seek to prevent the awakening of Kronos. I will not let chaos reign again. The Fates exchanged glances, their veils swirling like tempestuous winds. To confront the Titan, you must face your own shadows, those that dwell within. With a wave of their hands, the stars shifted, revealing ethereal images of her past, victories, failures, and moments buried deep within her heart. Fear, self-doubt, betrayal. The visions grew more intense, each one a reminder of her vulnerabilities. She saw herself standing over the fallen hero Phalaris, his life slipping away in battle. Her heart had been heavy with sorrow and guilt. You are haunted by the price of your wisdom, the Fates whispered. No more, she shouted, clenching her fists. I will not be defined by my past. Very well, they said, their voices echoing with both challenge and encouragement. To prove your resolve, face the beasts of your making. The stars exploded into a whirlwind of energy, and the ground trembled beneath her feet. From the swirling cosmos emerged monstrous apparitions, shadows of her fears materializing before her. There were grotesque versions of herself, fractured reflections embodying doubt and insecurity, each representing a trial she had yet to conquer. Bared fangs and claws of darkness lunged at her, but Athena stood firm. I am the daughter of the goddess of wisdom. I am Athena, she declared, raising the sword of Ares high. The blade gleamed with purpose, igniting embers of courage within her heart. With a swift strike, she met the first shadow, a twisted version of herself, adorned in the armor of self-doubt. As their blades clashed, Athena felt a surge of energy pulse through her. You do not define me, she roared, driving the sword deep into the heart of the shadow. It disintegrated into shimmering fragments, scattering like ashes in the wind. The second shadow, a spectral representation of betrayal, wrapped around her like a serpent. You will never escape your guilt, it hissed, its voice a cold whisper that crawled beneath her skin. If Phalaris' blood stained your hands, his sacrifice was not in vain. Athena counted, recalling their shared battles and the moments of camaraderie that had forged her into the warrior she was. From pain, I rise stronger. With a fierce cry, she slashed through the serpent, severing its hold. It crumbled into ethereal dust, leaving Athena unshackled. The final shadow rose, a colossal figure made from her deepest fears, towering over her with eyes that burned with the weight of failure. You cannot face the Titan, it bellowed, shaking the ground. You will falter under the weight of destiny. Summoning every fiber of her being, Athena held her sword aloft, its light illuminating the darkness. I will not falter, she declared, her voice ringing with conviction. My destiny is forged by my choices, not by the fears that haunt me. With a surge of divine energy, she charged forward, piercing the heart of the shadow with the sword of Ares. The creature roared in defiance, but Athena pressed on, channeling her wisdom, courage, and honor into her blade. In a blinding flash, the shadow exploded into a million fragments of light, showering the celestial realm with brilliance. As the last echoes of battle faded, the Fates appeared before her once more, their expressions inscrutable yet tinged with approval. You have confronted the shadows within, you have proven your resolve, but the path is still fraught with peril. What must I do now? Athena asked, her heart racing as the stars twinkled like distant hopes. To return, you must accept the weight of your choices, they replied. The trap you activated was born of your triumphs and failures. To defeat Kronos, you must reclaim the power of the keys you gathered and forge them into a light strong enough to pierce the darkness of the Titan's heart. Athena nodded, understanding the gravity of her task. I will not shy away from the burden of my choices. I will wield the keys to unite Etheria against the chaos that threatens to consume it. With that declaration, the Fates extended their hands, and a portal of light opened before her. Go, daughter of wisdom, the time has come to weave your fate anew. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. In a blinding flash, Athena found herself back inside the crumbling temple, the walls groaning with anguish. The remnants of the battle lingered in the air, the shadows retreating into the corners, but the portal still pulsed with energy. I must act quickly, she whispered, glancing at the insignia of honor, the chalice of the moon, and the sword of Ares in her possession. Together, they will forge a light capable of confronting Kronos. Summoning the essence of her keys, she placed them in a triangular formation upon the altar. Wisdom, courage, honor unite for the battle that lies ahead, she commanded, pouring her divine energy into the relics. A brilliant light erupted, swirling around her, intertwining the very fabric of destiny. The air crackled with power as the temple trembled once more, but this time it felt different, a surge of hope intertwined with the chaos. The shadows began to retreat, howling in fury at the light that emanated from the altar. Athena felt the strength of her choices, her sacrifices, merging into a single purpose. I will face Kronos, she vowed, her voice echoing through the temple. Not as the goddess of wisdom, but as a warrior forged by my past. Just as the light reached its zenith, the ground beneath her shook violently, and a rift in time and space opened. From within the depths of the shadows, Kronos emerged, a titanic figure cloaked in darkness. His eyes glowed like embers, promising devastation and ruin. Athena, he thundered, his voice resonating through the temple like the roar of a storm. You dare to challenge the eternal darkness, you shall pay the price of your defiance. With the keys imbued in her very being, Athena stood tall, the luminescent energy swirling around her, forming a divine aura. I will not back down, Titan, she declared, her heart pounding in rhythm with the surge of power. I will protect Etheria. And thus the battle for the fate of the realm began, a clash of light and darkness, wisdom and chaos. Athena, empowered by her keys, charged forth into the fray, ready to face the embodiment of ancient despair. The destiny of gods and mortals hung precariously in the balance, each moment a thread woven into the epic tapestry of time. The war against Kronos had begun, and only the brave would prevail. Asterisk, Athena solves the puzzle, but trap activates asterisk. Asterisk Part 3, the Titan's Wrath asterisk. With the very essence of Etheria crackling around her, Athena felt the weight of the moment pressing down like a thunderous storm. Kronos loomed before her, a titan of relentless power, an ancient dread that had long been sealed beneath the earth. His presence filled the temple with an oppressive darkness, the shadows extending like hands reaching for her very soul. Athena, daughter of Zeus, he bellowed, his voice reverberating like the drums of war. You are but a fleeting candle in the storm, your light cannot withstand the might of time itself. Athena steeled herself, recalling the wisdom of the ancients and the courage she had summoned to face her shadows. I am more than a fleeting candle. Kronos, I am the embodiment of the wisdom forged through ages of conflict. I will not let you plunge Etheria into chaos. As the words left her lips, the light from the altar surged forward, wrapping around her like a cloak of divine power. The insignia of honor, the chalice of moonlight, and the sword of Ares pulsed in unison, merging into an orb of light that illuminated the temple as collapsing walls. The shadows shrieked in anguish as the brilliance pushed them back, and for a moment Athena felt invincible. Yet Kronos chuckled, a sound like thunder rolling across the sky. You think your light can banish me? I have watched civilizations rise and fall. I am the end of all things, and tonight I shall carve your name into the annals of oblivion. With that, he raised a massive hand, and from the depths of darkness, a torrent of shadows coalesced into monstrous forms, twisted creations of despair and fury. They surged towards Athena, their howls piercing the air, a cacophony that chilled the very marrow of her bones. Defend yourself, Athena, she urged herself, recalling the battles of her past. With fierce determination, she brandished the sword of Ares, its edge gleaming with the resolve of 1,000 warriors. I will not yield. With a battle cry that echoed through the temple, Athena lunged at the first shadowy beast, a grotesque creature with jagged teeth and eyes like burning coals. She slashed through the creature as form, and it disintegrated into wisps of darkness that evaporated into the ether. Come forth, shadows, I will face you all, she roared, relentless in her defense. The temple responded to her valor, the very stones electrified by her conviction, shaking off the remnants of despair. But Kronos was not idle. With a swipe of his hand, he unleashed a wave of dark energy that crashed over Athena, attempting to engulf her in an inescapable void. The darkness clawed at her mind, whispering her fears, echoing her doubts. You cannot win, Athena, you have faced defeat before. Enough, she shouted, grounding herself in the sacred energy that flowed from her keys. I will not be defined by your whispers. I am Athena, goddess born of wisdom and war. With each word, she channeled her essence into the sword of Ares, feeling its power amplify. It shone brighter, casting the shadows back momentarily. She surged forward, slicing through the next wave of shadow beasts, feeling their forms disintegrate under the light of her resolve. Yet, as she fought, she could feel Kronos' gaze upon her, the weight of his ancient malice pressing down like a storm. He towered above her like an impenetrable fortress. You are strong, Athena, but strength alone will not save you from the abyss, he taunted, the ground trembling beneath his feet. Strength and wisdom are intertwined, she countered, her heart racing as she dodged another shadow strike. You may seek to instill fear, but I will not bow to despair. The temple shuddered again, debris raining down like the fragments of forgotten dreams. Athena's resolve grew with each strike, each shadow defeated, fueling her spirit, but deep within her heart a flicker of doubt remained. Could she truly stand against the embodiment of time itself? And then she saw them, figures emerging from the shadows, draped in shimmering robes that reflected the temple's light. The spirits of fallen heroes, warriors who had once fought alongside her in battles long past. They rose from the depths of despair, their faces full of determination and honor. Athena, they cried in unison, their voices a powerful chorus. We fight with you, honor binds us still. With renewed strength, Athena raised a sword high, feeling their presence invigorate her. Together, she shouted, the words igniting a fire within her. Together, we shall reclaim Mythica from Kronos. As if summoned by her call, the spirits flowed around her, forming a protective barrier against the shadows. They charged forward alongside her, a magnificent army born of honor and courage cutting through the dark tide. The temple ignited in a blaze of brilliance, the very walls resonating with the echoes of valor. But Kronos, sensing the shift in power, unleashed his fury, raising both arms as dark clouds churned above the temple. You think a few spirits can save you? I am time, I am the end of all that is. Lightning crackled around him, and with a roar that shook Etheria, he summoned a tempest of shadows, swelling around him like a cyclone of despair. Feel the weight of eternity. Athena felt the ground shudder beneath her, but she held her ground, the sword of Ares gleaming with resolve. We will face you, Kronos, your darkness will meet our light. The tempest of shadows surged toward her, and the spirits, crashing against the united front. Athena stood firm, channeling the energy of her keys, the insignia of honor glowing brighter as she gathered her strength. We will not be swallowed by your darkness. With a fierce cry, she thrust the sword forward, and the light exploded from her, cascading forth in waves that clashed against the shadows. The temple shook violently, the walls vibrating with the collision of light and darkness. The ground beneath her trembled, and with every ounce of strength, Athena pushed against the tide, rallying the spirits around her. For Etheria, for honor, for the fallen. In that moment, the shadows began to falter, torn apart by the brilliance of their resolve. Kronos howled in rage, the sound echoing like thunder, but Athena pressed on, the sword alight with the power of her keys. Your reign ends here. In a final surge of energy, she propelled herself forward, the sword piercing through the heart of the tempest. The light erupted like the dawn breaking through a night of despair, illuminating the ancient temple with the brilliance of 1,000 suns. Kronos shrieked, the shadows recoiling in horror as his form began to unravel. No, this cannot be. I am eternal. Not anymore. Athena shouted, the light engulfing him, consuming the darkness that had haunted Etheria for eons. The Titan-esque form dissipated into nothingness, the shadows dissolving like echoes in the wind. As the light settled, the temple returned to its stillness, the air filled with the energy of triumph. Athena collapsed to her knees, the sword of Ares slipping from her grasp, its brilliance now fading to a gentle glow. The spirits of the fallen heroes surrounded her, their faces radiant with pride. You have done it, Athena, one whispered, her voice a soothing balm. You have reclaimed the light. But the weight of her victory pressed upon her heart, mingling with the sorrow for those lost. It was not just my strength, she replied, her voice thick with emotion. It was the honor of those who fought alongside me. We forged this victory together. As she stood, brushing the dust from her robes, she felt the warmth of the insignia of honor in her palm. Though Kronos has been vanquished, the battle for Etheria is never truly over. There will always be shadows lurking in the corners of our world. We will stand watch, Athena, the spirits replied, their forms beginning to fade. Honor binds us across time. We shall rise whenever darkness threatens. Athena gazed into the now still chamber, the remnants of the battle lingering like a bittersweet memory. She knew the path ahead would be fraught with trials anew, but she felt a sense of hope blooming in her heart. Together, we will face whatever comes next, she vowed, her voice resolute, echoing through the temple. As she stepped forth, the temple itself seemed to hum with life, reborn through her triumph. The keys she had gathered were no longer mere relics, they were symbols of her journey, a testament to the wisdom forged through trials, the courage to confront the darkness, and the honor that bound them all. With her heart alight with purpose, Athena emerged from the temple into the dawn of a new day, the sun rising over Etheria, a brilliant herald of hope. The shadows had been pushed back, but Athena knew she would remain vigilant, for the tides of fate were ever changing, and the legacy of the gods would always depend upon the choices made by those willing to face the darkness head on. And so, armed with the strength of her keys, the memories of those. Athena solves the puzzle, but trap activates Part 4, The Rise of Shadows. The dawn broke over Etheria, painting the sky in hues of crimson and gold. Yet the beauty of the day belied the turmoil that churned beneath its surface. Athena stood steadfast upon the temple steps, her heart heavy with the weight of her victory, yet wary of the shadows that still lingered in the corners of the world. As she gazed over the horizon, her thoughts drifted back to the battle against Kronos. The Titaness' dark presence had been vanquished, but the memory of his rage lingered, a reminder that darkness could always rise anew. Hope must be nurtured, she whispered to herself, clenching the insignia of honor in her palm, feeling its warmth radiate through her. Athena, a voice broke through her reverie, pulling her back to reality. It was Phalaris, the spectre of the fallen hero, his form shimmering like a mirage. The battle may have ended, but the war is far from over. Allies must be forged in the wake of chaos. I know, Phalaris, Athena replied, her voice steady yet tinged with sorrow. The light may have triumphed today, but I sense the darkness stirs again. We must prepare for what lies ahead. Phalaris nodded, his spectral features softening. Then we shall gather the forces of Etheria. The realms will unite against any remnants of the Titaness influence. Together, we can ensure that shadows do not threaten the dawn of a new age. As they spoke, the air shimmered with anticipation. Athena called upon her divine essence, summoning a portal that would lead her to the hearts of the kingdoms beyond the temple. Let us rally the warriors of Etheria, she declared, stepping into the swirling light of the portal, Phalaris at her side. The kingdom of Aratus lay nestled between towering mountains, its people known for their valor and unyielding spirit. As she emerged from the portal, the sun cast a golden glow over the vast fields of wheat that stretched beyond the castle walls. Warriors stood ready in the courtyard, their armor gleaming like the sun itself. Behold, the goddess Athena, the herald cried, his voice echoing through the thrumming air. The warriors fell silent, turning to face her, their faces a mixture of awe and reverence. Brave warriors of Aratus, Athena began, stepping forward with authority. The darkness that has haunted us is not vanquished. Kronos' remnants linger, and we must stand united to guard against the chaos he sought to unleash. From the ranks, a warrior named Calais, known for his fierce heart and sharp blade, stepped forward. What do you propose, goddess? We are ready to fight, but we need a plan. Athena's eyes glimmered with determination. We shall seek out the remnants of Kronos' minions, and we will strike before they can regain their strength. Together, we will forge an army, gather allies from the other realms, and cleanse Etheria of any lingering darkness. A chorus of agreement rose from the assembled warriors. Lead us, Athena, they shouted, their voices a rallying cry that ignited a fire within her heart. Before the sun dipped below the horizon, the warriors of Aratus assembled, their numbers swelling as Athena called forth allies from the kingdom of Lycos, where fierce beast warriors roamed, to the serene shores of Thalassa, where sea warriors awaited her summons. Days passed like a whirlwind, and soon a vast army stood ready at the foot of the temple of Themis. Warriors clad in armor from every corner of Etheria gathered, their hearts beating as one. The sun cast a resplendent glow upon them, illuminating the banners that bore their sigils, symbols of honor and courage. Our first target shall be the caves of Moros, Athena declared, her voice strong and unwavering. There, the shadows of Kronos have taken root, twisting the very essence of the land. We will cleanse it and send a message to all who would dare to rise against us. As the warriors cheered, Athena felt a sense of hope swell within her. But deep down, a foreboding whisper tugged at her mind. As they set forth, Athena could not shake the feeling that the darkness had not been fully extinguished, it was merely lying in wait. The journey to the caves of Moros was fraught with challenges, the landscape treacherous and the air thick with an unsettling silence. As they approached the cave entrance, Athena sensed the chill of shadows creeping towards them, the air buzzing with an ominous energy. Stay vigilant, she called to her warriors, her hand resting on the hilt of the sword of Ares. The shadows may be watching, and they will not take kindly to our presence. As they descended into the caves, darkness enveloped them like a shroud. With every step deeper into the cave, the light of their torches flickered, casting grotesque shadows upon the walls. Whispers echoed around them, a cacophony of dread that raised the hair on the back of their necks. Something stirs within the darkness, Calais muttered, glancing anxiously at Athena. I can feel it, the pulse of despair. Let not fear take root within your hearts. Athena replied, her voice unwavering. We are the light. But as they ventured further, the shadows began to coalesce into monstrous forms, twisted apparitions of the fears that had haunted Athena during her battle against Kronos. They surged forward, eyes glowing with malevolence, the air thick with despair and anguish. "Stand firm," Athena shouted, raising her sword high. "This darkness shall not claim us." With a fierce battle cry, Athena charged into the fray, the sword of Ares gleaming as it struck true against the swirling shadows. Each swing of her blade sent ripples of light cascading through the cave, illuminating the faces of her warriors, igniting their courage. Callias fought alongside her, his sword dancing through the air, slicing through the darkness. "Together, Athena, we will not falter." But the shadows swarmed like a tempest, the howls rising in a cacophony of despair. Athena could feel the weight of their whispers, echoing the doubts that had plagued her in the past. "You are alone, Athena, you cannot win," they taunted. Yet she stood resolute, channeling the strength of her keys, allowing the essence of wisdom, courage, and honor to surge within her. "Feel the light of Etheria," she roared, a fierce determination igniting her spirit. With one final swing of her sword, she unleashed a powerful wave of energy, dispersing the shadows like mist before the dawn. Yet, as the battle raged on, a figure emerged from the depths of the cave, a monstrous manifestation of Kronos himself, cloaked in shadows and fury. "You think you can erase my legacy? I will consume you, Athena," it thundered, its voice reverberating through the cavern. "The shadow of the past cannot withstand the light of the present," Athena declared, her heart racing as she prepared to face this embodiment of darkness. "I will show you the power that lies in unity." With every ounce of strength, Athena charged forward, the sword of Ares alight with brilliance. Callias and the other warriors flanked her, their collective courage forming an impenetrable wall against the onslaught. Together, they shouted, their voices merging into a symphony of defiance. The clash was monumental, a storm of light and darkness colliding with an intensity that shook the very foundations of the cave. Shadows writhed and screamed, struggling against the brilliance of Athena's resolve. She fought fiercely, wielding her sword as a beacon of hope, cutting through the darkness that threatened to engulf them all. "You are nothing," Kronos' shadow roared, lunging toward her with a murderous intent. But Athena, fueled by the collective strength of her warriors and the light of her keys, stood firm. "I am the light that guides, I will not be extinguished." With one final, powerful thrust, she plunged the sword of Ares into the heart of the shadowy titan, unleashing a blinding explosion of light. The cave shook with the force of the collision, and the shadows dissolved, dissipating into nothingness. As the echoes of battle faded, Athena stood amidst her warriors, breathless yet resolute. "We have faced the darkness and emerged victorious," she proclaimed, her voice ringing with triumph. "Let this be a testament to the power of unity and the strength of our resolve." Cheers erupted around her, a chorus of gratitude and honor filling the cavernous space. Yet, as Athena surveyed her warriors, she felt a lingering unease. The battle had been won, but the remnants of Kronos' legacy still loomed in the shadows of Etheria. She would need to remain vigilant, for the darkness could rise again. "Athena," Callias approached, his eyes alight with admiration. "Your courage has inspired us all. What shall we do next?" With the warmth of determination igniting her heart, Athena looked into the eyes of her warriors. "We will not stop until we have rooted out every trace of darkness. We will forge alliances with the realms beyond our own.